For 85 years, Bear Stearns was one of the giants of Wall Street. Founded in 1923, the firm survived the Great Depression, World War II, and multiple financial crises. By the early 2000s, Bear Stearns had become the fifth largest investment bank in the United States. Its traders were famous for their aggressive style. Its executives believed the firm was unstoppable. But in March 2008, that confidence would vanish in a single weekend. A bank that had stood for decades would collapse in less than 48 hours. And it would become the first domino of the global financial crisis. The real danger had been building for years. During the housing boom of the early 2000s, banks began packaging risky home loans into complex securities. These were called mortgage-backed securities. Bear Stearns became one of the largest traders of these products. At first, the profits were enormous. Wall Street believed housing prices would never fall. But many of those mortgages were given to borrowers who could barely afford their homes. These loans were called subprime mortgages. When housing prices began to fall in 2007, the entire system started to crack. And Bear Stearns was standing right at the center of it. In the summer of 2007, two Bear Stearns hedge funds collapsed. Both funds were heavily invested in subprime mortgage securities. When investors realized those assets were losing value, panic spread quickly. Billions of dollars vanished. Confidence in Bear Stearns began to erode. But executives insisted the company was still strong. They believed the worst had already passed. They were wrong. In March 2008, the panic exploded. Rumors began spreading across Wall Street that Bear Stearns was running out of cash. Clients and trading partners started pulling their money. In modern finance, a bank doesn't need people lining up outside. All it takes is a few clicks. Within days, Bear Stearns lost access to the funding it needed to survive. The bank was running out of time. On March 14, 2008, the Federal Reserve stepped in with emergency support. But the situation was already critical. Behind closed doors, government officials and bankers worked through the night. They needed to prevent a complete financial meltdown. By Sunday, March 16, a deal was finally announced. JPMorgan Chase would acquire Bear Stearns for just $2 per share. An 85-year-old investment bank had effectively been sold for almost nothing. At the time, many believed the crisis had been contained. They were wrong. 6 months later, Lehman Brothers would collapse. The global financial system would enter its worst crisis since the Great Depression. Looking back, the fall of Bear Stearns was the warning sign, a signal that the system itself was fragile, and that Wall Street's era of easy money was ending. The collapse of Bear Stearns happened in just one weekend, but the risks behind it had been building for years. Financial crises rarely appear overnight. They grow quietly, hidden inside systems that seem strong, until suddenly, they aren't.